Hey guys, it's Farah, Canna Queen DGO if you're following me on social media, and today I want to talk to you about cold and flu season. I have recently been a victim of cold and flu season as I have been laid up with a cold all week. So I just wanted to share with you a couple of products that helped me get through my cold, and hopefully they will help you as well if you are in the unfortunate circumstance that you catch a cold this season. So one of the first products I want to talk about is this Mellow Mint tea. I've already talked about this company before and their teas. I just wanted to bring them back for a refresher. They're great for cold and flu season. The tea is very high quality. They're powered by Ripple, and Ripple works 3 ways in the body. It works sublingually, absorbing into the membranes under the tongue very quickly within 20 minutes. It also works by absorbing into the small intestines because it's water soluble, and that takes about 45 minutes. They also work similarly to an edible by processing through and absorbing into the liver, and that takes about 90 minutes. And because of the onset times of each process, this medicine can last in the system for at least 2 to 4 hours, if not longer. Other products that I like to use tinctures a lot because they really work and they're relatively quick onset, usually 20 minutes. Sometimes you can find that there'll be a quicker onset. I like to use this one. This one's by Marquois. It's an agave tincture. It gives me a very clear and level-headed feeling, and I really enjoy that. This is the root of it all. What I really love about the root of it all is that it has chamomile, lavender, and valerian root in it, so those are all very healing essential oils and roots, and also it doesn't leave a residue in the mouth, so it's almost like you're using water instead of a thick tincture, and I really like that. It absorbs really quickly, and it works extremely well. I slept like a baby when I used it. There's 90 milligrams of THC in this bottle and 30 milligrams of CBD in this bottle, so it's very good for helping heal the body. Aside from tinctures, I also like to use hard candies and lozenges. My cold usually starts with a sore throat. That's how I know it's coming. And so I have 2 products here. I have one from the Growing Kitchen. These are super CBD blueberry chill pills. So these come in 10 milligram dosing, and there's 10 in the package. So there's 100 milligrams in this whole package, and these have CBD in them as well. And then I have these lozenges as well from Canyon. They're called Suck It, if you can see that. They're vegan and gluten-free, and they have THC in them, and they're very soothing for the throat as well. The only complaint I would have about these 2 products, hard candies usually have this bitter aftertaste, and these were no different, but they worked really well to help soothe my sore throat, and they were relatively flavorful. The strawberry's really good. The blueberry flavor is evident in these chill pills, and I really enjoyed them. And then, of course, I use topicals as well. When we have a cold, usually those come, especially if you have the flu, it will come with body aches and pains, so topicals are great for that. But the other thing I use topicals for is somewhat unconventional. So I got a couple of topicals here. I have this Mary's Medicinal's Muscle Freeze. If you can see that right there. Mary's Medicinal Muscle Freeze. I like to keep this in the refrigerator to make it a little bit colder. I use this and I like to rub it on my chest when I have a cold because it works like Vicks Vapor Rub, and so it helps open up the sinuses. So Mary's Medicinal Freeze, not just useful as a topical for aches and pains, but also can be used like Vicks Vapor Rub. Highly recommend that. And this has CBD in it as well. So yeah, check this out, and man, I'm telling you, it opened my sinuses right up. The other topical I like to use, this is one of my favorites. It doesn't have a label on it anymore because it's one of my favorites. I use it so much. This is the Dixie Synergy formula in this little bottle right here. This formula is 50 milligrams of CBD and 50 milligrams of THC. And you can use topicals really liberally because they don't cross the blood-brain barrier. So I like to use this for my aches and pains, but I also like to use it on my nose because when you have a cold, you know you most likely are blowing your nose constantly. And even if you're using the lotion tissues, when you're using tissue that much, it's going to rub your nose a little dry and raw. So topicals are great for that because they don't have any harsh chemicals in them, and it's very soothing as opposed to trying to put lotion or something, because lotion a lot of times will sting and feel very bad in the area. It's not soothing at all. So last thing that I'm going to talk to you about, some people, not me, but some people just can't go a day without smoking. So I recommend getting a vape pen. So dabbing can be a little harsh if we're talking about vaporizing, and combusting flower is extremely harsh on the lungs and on the throat. So if you just can't go a day without smoking, I recommend doing an oil vape. This is Willie's Reserve. This one is Granddaddy Perp. It's an indica, so I got an indica because I knew I needed the rest. It's very flavorful. When I was able to start tasting flavors again, I could taste it. It was very good. This is made with a CO2 distillate. And the only complaint I have about it is that I did have to use my big battery. I did try to use my smaller vape cartridge batteries, but unless you buy a Willie's Reserve battery, this is not going to work on your O pin or your K pin battery. This is going to only work on a Willie's Reserve battery or on a big block battery. And if you put it on a big block battery, 3.7 volts is the recommended voltage on that. I have mine a little bit lower than that. I really enjoy this. It's not harsh. It's super smooth. And you can do a smaller dosing this way than using a dab rig or even a dab straw. You're going to get really thicker, harsher doses. And so that's why I recommend the oil as opposed to dabbing a wax or something. That would be maybe a last resort. But that's going to be very thick on your throat, and so it might not be very pleasant. So those are the cannabis products that I would recommend. Other things that I would recommend for cold and flu season: don't forget to hydrate. Drinking water is one of the most important things you can do when you have a cold. You need to hydrate to help your body heal. Other things that I use outside of cannabis: I use turmeric and ginger. I'm not a real big fan of the flavor of turmeric and ginger, so I take it in capsules, but they also make it in teas, and I know a lot of you would enjoy that. Also, garlic raw is very healthy, and using honey to help get it down would make it a little bit easier to consume. And then elderberry is very healthy as well and helps combat the common cold. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and share. Tell your friends, and I'll be back next week with a new review video. See you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed it.